Nnadi, who is the Secretary General of the Lower Niger Congress and the convener Movement for New Nigeria. Thank you once again for joining us.
My pleasure.
We'll be right back. The rest of the show continues shortly. Stay with us.
All right, thank you so much. We are done with that segment.
Welcome back. Now our next interview is one.
Where am I? I have so many buttons open. Gee. Okay. Before I close myself out. All right, thank you. So we are back. We're trying to use this new system. I'm still learning on how to use it. So you've seen the video that we presented today. So our question goes to Mazi Nnadi. So against the backdrop of all this ongoing mobilization by LNC and its MNN alliance for the joint multi-regional constitutional force majeure, what is your take on the sudden rollout by the National Assembly with their long list of contentious national issues to be addressed by amendment regarding the disputed 1999 Constitution? Do you think that this is the response by the National Assembly to determine push by the LNC and its alliance towards a fundamental reconfiguration of Nigerian constitutional basis?
Yeah, thank you. The reason I asked that we go back in time by way of the videos you played. The last of the videos was actually on October 8, 2013. We wanted our viewers, we wanted the National Assembly, we wanted the government of the day, we wanted all of those who may be interested in where Nigeria is heading, at this time, to see that we have consistently, engaged with these matters, even as we mobilized the various nationalities quietly. We're talking to the National Assembly at this time. We are talking to all of those who are organizing how our sovereignty will continue to be, detained. That the business to be done is not the business for National Assembly. The sovereignty questions that are staring Nigeria in the face are not matters for National Assembly. Their legislative mandate does not, extend to constitution making. The legislative mandate of National Assembly does not extend to constitution making. Constitution making is the exclusive business of the constituents. And the power to make constitution or remake constitution vests exclusively in the sovereign constituents, those who will have been countries of their own. But for Nigeria, like we saw the Yoruba organizing themselves, they now have their constitution in place. They've gone to the UN to say they don't have a country anymore because Nigeria is failing, and all kinds of things. Now, the National Assembly, seeing that the owners of Nigeria are working themselves, are working out how to jointly, take down that constitution that has held them, hostage all these years, just like the apartheid constitution made the blacks of South Africa, slaves in their land. It is the 1999 constitution that made everybody slaves in their lands here. It is the 1999 constitution that took the assets of those whose assets are detained, like Niger Delta and their oil and gas, the Yoruba and their ports, the limestone of the Middle Belt, and all kinds of things. The right to even, generate electricity is taken away. All kinds of things that are on that exclusive list. The issues that have come to be resolved now is not all those 14 or 13, 14 items that National Assembly has rolled out in their attempt to meet, to jump into the path of the people who are heading to that force majeure. The issue, the big issue that has to be resolved now and not tomorrow, because we've waited 21 years since 1999. The big issue to be resolved is whether we have made a constitution. And if we have not, when are we making one? And who is going to make it? Because the one we are rejecting now was done without authority. The one we're rejecting now is being rejected on account of the fact that the constituents were not invited into the process of making it. Yet their signature is sitting on it as the ones who made it. And so, if we look at the list of items the National Assembly, rolled out as what they are going to be addressing, they say, oh, we have to now federal structure and power devolution. I'm just reading them: federal structure and power devolution, public revenue, fiscal federalism, revenue allocation, comprehensive judicial reform, electoral reform, residency and indigenship rights, immunity, National Assembly, state creation, all kinds of things that have been that have been bugging them, troubling the constituents all this while. So why are they coming at this time when those constituents are now invoking their sovereign rights to determine for themselves how they want to live in their spaces? And so the question to be answered, and that is a preliminary question. If it is not answered, nobody's going to pay attention to any other thing, no matter how much they try. The owners of the land are saying they've not made a constitution. They are now about to take action that will terminate the life of the one that was imposed, that has their signature, that is tormenting them. The killings in the Middle Belt have been made possible by that constitution they imposed. The assets that are seized from everybody, made possible by that constitution they imposed. The matter of electricity and infrastructure, all kinds of things that the states, the number of states they created all these years since 1967, that have become 36 in number now. Those are the issues. And it's not the business of National Assembly to come to tell Yoruba people how they will live in Yoruba land, or the other people in the lower Niger how they will live in their spaces. The question to be answered first now is, have we made a constitution? And the answer is self-evident as in that document itself. Anybody who buys a copy of the constitution tomorrow morning will see the process by which it came. And the owners of the land have endured it for 21 years, and they are marching on to where they will terminate the operation of that constitution. If we look back at all of what we've been trying to tell our people in the last few months, to say that all the processes have come to where the decisions of the Freedom Park Proclamation of December 11, 2018, is now to be enforced, is now to be implemented, is now to be carried out in some way. And that is what the constitutional force majeure is all about. We have not made a constitution. Those who are gathered in Abuja, those senators and house members who sit in Abuja, rolling out amendment, they are being accessories after the fact of treason. They are committing treason against the rest of us. They are committing treason against the people they pretend to represent. They do not have the mandate. The Igbo senators in that assembly do not have the mandate of Igbo people to go to negotiate our sovereignty. The Yoruba senators do not have the mandate of Yoruba people to go to negotiate the sovereignty of the Yoruba people. And in sitting together and swearing to defend and uphold our constitution and trying to keep it alive by tinkering with it from time to time, they've been doing amendments since 1999. It doesn't address any of the questions. Unless we address that part of the question that has to do with we the people being alleged to have submitted our lands and our people into this union of death, they are standing on a head-on collision. They are placing themselves on a head-on collision with the people in whose name they gather in Abuja. And we're talking to them now that there's still time for them to listen. They may choose not to listen and to stay with the people who imposed that constitution originally and continue the treason against the rest of us. But in the coming days, they will count their numbers, because they're going to find themselves, facing the wrath of those who have been killed in the Middle Belt, facing the wrath of those whose lives have been tormented in Niger Delta by Nigerian state on account of that constitution, facing the wrath of all of those whose destinies have been derailed, all of our people trapped overseas. They want to come home. There's no home to return to. It is that constitution. And anybody who is still on the side of keeping that constitution, the people who are talking about amendments now, just because the complaints have gotten very loud and the mobilization is getting to where it will actually take down that constitution, they are only after what they get as senators. They are happy with the 50 million they get every month. The governors are happy with 5 billion they get every month. They don't care what everybody else dies. But we're just telling them that the owners of the land do not require their permission to organize themselves in how they want to live in their lands. That's what the issue is all about. And therefore, this proposition for amendment is dead on arrival. And all of those who may be going to submit memoranda to them, of course, nobody's going to pay attention to anything they do because the substantive document is a forgery. You don't come to amend a forgery. Somebody takes a forged bank, check to the bank, and then you catch him, and he says, "Okay, let me amend the figure." Is that the way to cure the situation? The 1999 Constitution is a forgery and a fraud, and therefore does not, Nigeria has become a fraud for that reason against those you call Nigerians. And we've done everything to make it a peaceful, collective process. But if those who sit in Abuja, the renegade, the regional renegades who go against the will of their people to sit in Abuja to maintain the instrument of death, the apartheid instrument, if they insist that they become stronger than the people, if they insist that the sovereignty of the people is now with them, we just wait to see in the coming days how far they're going to travel on that road.
Thank you. Sister Augusta, go ahead.
Yes, thank you for that. So the next question, Barrister Tony. The LNC and its eminent alliance partners have repeatedly proclaimed that the business of constitution making is beyond the legislative mandate of the National Assembly. But the National Assembly, by its actions, seems to suggest that constitution making is within their legislative mandate. And in fact, they are exclusive business. In the face of these diametrically opposed viewpoints, can you explain to our viewers clearly whose business it is to make or remake our constitution between the National Assembly and the peoples of Nigeria? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Like we heard the video by which the program was introduced, like we heard all those speakers, all of us know who Chief Nnadi is. He's a brilliant lawyer. All of us know who Professor Akin Oyebode is, a brilliant, not only a lawyer, he's a professor of jurisprudence. He used to be head of jurisprudence and international law at the University of Lagos for many years. He then went on to become vice chancellor and came back on some other contract. So on the continent of Africa, he's one of those you can ask questions about what a constitution is and who can make a constitution. You saw them talking about autochthonous, all of them who spoke. The matter of autochthonous is to say that the power to make the constitution comes from only the constituents. Like the memo and articles of a company is the exclusive business of the shareholders of those who are forming the company. What the memo and article is to the company is what the constitution is to the country. The memo is one document. Just to break it down further, the memo is one document. The article is another document. The memo is the document by which the owners of the company commit themselves to form the company, submit their assets, and say, we are now XYZ Limited. The article is the definitions and the relationships, regulating the agreement to regulate relationship between the owners of the company. If you have not settled the question of whether Mr. A, B, C, and D have submitted their assets to be called XYZ Limited, and you now go writing articles that will regulate the affairs of the owners of XYZ Limited, you are just wasting your time. In the case of Nigeria, the constitution, which, like we heard Dr. Amos Akingba say in that video, the constitution is simply a union agreement. The constitution is simply the agreement by which Yoruba, that could be country of their own, have decided and agreed to live with the Ijaw that could be country of their own, with the Tiv that could be country of their own, with the Doma that can be country of their own, or Igbo that can be country of their own. It is that agreement amongst them to submit their land and their people into a union to be called Nigeria that is missing. We had an agreement. The British came at the time they came, but by the time they were about to leave in 1960, we had an agreement that was reached in Lancaster House after 7 years of intensive discussion amongst those who, the three regions of the time that could have become countries of their own, but for that agreement. And they decided to federate. They decided to come together, but everybody armed with his own sovereignty. Everybody armed with his own constitution. And so from the point in 1966 that those constitutions were toppled and things began to happen by decree, and states began to, emerge from the brigandage of those who were prevailing by force, all the way to 1979 and 1999, bringing together all of what they did by decree to be called constitution without any further recourse to the constituents. And so it became like a situation in which the managers you hired in your company topple your memo and article, because the government is like the hired management of the enterprise called Nigeria. The shareholders in that enterprise are the constituent blocks that could be countries of their own, but now coming to federate to form a union of constitutions. And so the document by which they define that relationship, by which they commit themselves and define their relationship, is called the Constitution. Now the government in its three arms, including the National Assembly, I want us to pay close attention, including the lawyers in the land, about the fact that the National Assembly has no business in the matter of constitution making. We have not made a constitution that they can now begin to amend. Their mandate is to make laws within as empowered by the Constitution. Their mandate is to make laws according to how the Constitution dictates. We have not made a constitution. The last constitutions we made were toppled in 1966. They began to hold people together against their will. It became war in 1967. 3.5 million people got killed in the eastern part. And from that point on, it's been imposition and enforcement by brigandage. And now, those who are suffering from all of that have organized themselves to say our sovereignty remains with us. Even the constitution, as bad as it is, in the lie that we made the constitution, is still admitted in section 14.2a. Let those who have access go to verify it. Section 14.2a of the 1999 Constitution admitted that sovereignty belongs to the people, from whom government, through this Constitution, derives all its powers and authority. I'm quoting that Constitution now so that people can understand what we're complaining about. What those who say they want reconstruction of the Union, those who say they are fed up with the Union as defined by that Constitution, what they are saying is that the sovereignty belongs to them, and that it's only on account of that sovereignty that they can commit themselves to being in any union with anybody, that they've not held any meeting with anybody, and they've not submitted themselves to be in any union with anybody. Those who impose the union by force and who now began to bring this forgery of a constitution to regulate what will happen inside it, creating 36 states that now make the majority an absolute political minority, that now have 68 items on the exclusive list in which the owners of the land have lost all their assets and their right to work those assets. That is the matter. That's the matter in issue. And so it is not the business of the National Assembly to go to begin to discuss that matter. It is the exclusive jurisdiction of the constituents to go and discuss whether they want to continue in the union or they want to do something else with their future. Where we are headed now is that a majority has emerged, the whole of the South and the whole of the Middle Belt, that is now the receiving end of the impositions that have been wrought by one side of the country, by the Caliphate North that imposed that constitution. They have organized themselves sufficiently to invoke their sovereign rights to decide and determine for themselves how they will live. And so it has come to where these people who are subsuming, who are trying to hijack their sovereignties, must now begin to listen to their own people.
Thank you, Mazi. You know, one of the things that we should learn from this program is that he's coming on this air to tell us things that we don't even have any idea about. Some people think it's all about noise making, shouting, crying, this, and we're telling you now, basically all he's telling you is that the power belongs to you, not to your National Assembly, not to the whoever speaking, that you, the citizens, have the right to say, we do not want this constitution anymore. We want to be that we, the people, that is written in that constitution. So if we can begin to understand this, I think we can end this madness even sooner than we thought. The point is that we are not getting it because as an African, we are not used to having rights. So we don't know what that means. We don't know what to do with it. And he's telling us that we have the rights and we are not getting it. Okay, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, my sister. It's amazing when somebody has finished cooking rice for you, put meat, put everything the way you like it, and say, oh yeah, take and eat. You say, no, 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 I don't want to eat. I want to be stupid. It's sad. Thank you very much, Barrister Tony Nnadi. The way you explain everything, I mean, anybody, even if you didn't go to school, you understand what is being said. So as expectations, build up around the impending constitutional force majeure, a flood of inquiries have been coming in, to us from all viewers, home, abroad, regarding what exactly LNC and its eminent alliance partners will require from the masses, of our people. That's in terms of actions and support, to facilitate the quicken, this whole process, advance it, and make it a success. That's that's I'm talking about the constitutional force majeure, to facilitate it, quicken it, and make it a big success. Please tell us. I don't know if you got my question.
Yeah, I was listening. What the LNC and the eminent alliance will be asking our people to do at this time, most importantly, is to calm down and understand, especially those who are eager to have their land back from Nigeria that has been sitting on it for a long time. Those who want Biafra on one side, those who want to do a republic on the other side, those who are being killed in the Middle Belt and who now want an end to the madness that had come upon their land, those who are talking about restructuring in all kinds of year after year, the same debate, then they go to another election. Anybody who says he wants Nigeria to be fixed, anybody who says he wants the killing to stop, anybody who says he wants corruption to stop, but who is still prepared to go to another election under the constitution that enable all those things is the enemy we're looking for. Therefore, the first important thing is for those who want an end to their misery in Nigeria, whether they want out or they want an adjustment, whatever it is they say they want. The first order of business is to remove the obstacle between them and that thing they want. If they want Biafra, as long as that 1999 constitution is in place, they are not going to get no Biafra. If they want to do a republic, as long as that 1999 constitution is in place, they won't get no Odua Republic because there's Nigeria sitting there with the army and police and navy that will shoot you for everything. It will criminalize you. You saw what happened in Enugu the other day. Everything you do, you can be criminalized. It is that constitution that will empower the Fulani to leave all of those who have been killing people all over the place and criminalize those who say, oh, we are fed up. It doesn't matter how unruly they are or how, rascally they become. They are saying it in their own way.
Right.
We have said it in the way it can become discussion under the roof to say, let us go and sit down and rework the terms of our union, the terms of our relationship. If nobody is going to listen at the time, it could be done under the roof, because by the time we called Pronaco in 2005, the problems were already, this bad. And we say, they let those who were carrying arms, Asari and his, Niger Delta People Volunteer Force, OPC of Ghanaian Dams, that had chased the police out of the streets of Yoruba land as at that time, before Obasanjo came in 99. Things had gone so very bad that people began to pick up arms all over the place. And we saw it could become Somalia. The issues, the issues that were bothering them were the same issues that led to breakdown in 1966. They haven't been addressed. And so we said, okay, it's not even the business of the government to do that address, which was why we called a meeting of the constituent components. Now, from that Pronaco, we came to where we reached, an understanding of what has to happen I come back to your question. What do you want our people to do? Our people have to first calm down and understand the nature of the problem, which is what we have broken down to them in a way they can relate with it. That it is in taking down that constitution that they can now proceed to referendum to decide whether they want to stay or they want to leave. Unless we come to where that constitution is crashing, every other thing you are doing, you are likely to be criminalized. You are likely to be stopped. The system will still go to another election, and another set of people will emerge and be there for 4 years. And so, in the knowledge that can liberate them, it is to now reduce it to narrowing all their energies to taking down that constitution. And we have already determined that having gotten all the sides to repudiate that constitution, because from the point we went to Pronaco, in 2007, we went to court to say, we have not made this constitution, and therefore we must begin to think of when it will be terminated, the operation of it. From that point, by 2011, things went worse, and again, we gathered as the Eminent Alliance to mandate ourselves to go and work out what will become self-determination for everybody, to let everybody organize their internal arrangements. Let the Yoruba organize that and have a constitution of their own. Let the Lower Niger organize between the Ijaw, the Ogoni, the Igbo, and all of that to have a constitution of their own. Let the Middle Belt do likewise. All of that had happened. And within the context of those things happening, that the solemn assemblies that happened between 2015 and 2018, the one of the Lower Niger in April of 2015, the one of Yoruba in Ibadan, 2017, 7th of September, I think, and then the one of Middle Belt, 18th of July. We're saying that it was from that collective mandate, from the Lagos Declaration, the MNN Alliance Lagos Declaration of 2011, June 30, that we went into those solemn assemblies. Those solemn assemblies were the processes by which the indigenous nationalities in each of these 3 blocks told the global community that they've come to the end of their endurance of that constitution. And having done it across board, the whole of the South and the whole of the Middle Belt, in rejection of the Sharia that have been introduced by the upper segment of Nigeria, in which they could just be said to have seceded from the secular union we thought we were building, because the Sharia now requires them to kill the infidel, and they are going about killing people. We can see that they've invited their kinsmen from all over Africa to come and join them to kill people and take over their lands as their permanent abodes. And because a Fulani man has become president, because they've hijacked the federal government of Nigeria, in a federation that the federal government had hijacked all the while, the federal government of Nigeria hijacked the Federation of Nigeria in 1966. The Fulani has in turn hijacked that federal government, now becoming head of all the 3 arms, becoming head of all the armed services, becoming head of everything that you can say is lever of control and power, everything that controls the resources of the land, everything that controls the powers of the constituent units have been sequestered by that federal government that is now 100% in the hands of the Fulani. And what are they doing with it? They've invited people from all over the place because they are the ones in charge now. It's easier for them to maraud all over the place as federal government, as Nigerian army, as Nigerian police. As things stand now, nobody's looking at those people as Nigerian army. Nobody's looking at those people in uniform as Nigerian police. Nobody's looking at NNPC as a Nigeria. It has become Northern Nigerian Army. It has become Northern Nigerian Police. It has become Northern Nigeria Petroleum Corporation. It has become Northern Nigeria Electoral Commission. It has become Northern Nigeria Post Authority. It has become Northern Nigeria. I hope we understand what we're saying. That is what it has become for the rest of Nigeria. That is the whole of the South and the whole of the Middle Belt. And what is happening now is that they have done the processes by which they can invoke their right to self-determination as enunciated by the United Nations instrument on the rights of indigenous peoples. They are in the ancestral space. Nigeria have been occupying that space against their will. Everything has been done to call Nigeria to come to a meeting. They went to Abuja in 1967. Nigeria agreed with them and abandoned the agreement and started killing them since that time to date. And now, where we are is that constitution, unfortunately, that constitution by which they are able to maintain this stranglehold, it is that constitution that empowered them to do all of what they are doing. And it is the political parties that all of them subscribe to that constitution as basis of this union. It is the political parties that are sustaining this. It is those who contest election in the political parties that are the individuals directly responsible for all of what we are suffering in this union. Whether it is the killings that are going on, or the invasions that we are seeing coming upon us, or the seizure of our assets, it is the constitution that caused it. It is the subscribers, the political parties sustaining that constitution by contesting elections under them, under the constitution, that are responsible. And the individuals who are running those political parties, whether they are at the world level or at the state level or at the national level, they are the ones, they are the enemies. They are the ones actually visiting these killings upon us. They are the ones authorizing those who are standing on that constitution to exclude the owners of the land from what they are doing and to kill them in order to take their land permanently. And so, our people who are listening, the constitutional force majeure is where we are now moving to the enforcement of that joint decision that came by way of that Freedom Park Proclamation. After the three blocs had repudiated the constitution to the hearing of the whole world through solemn assemblies, we had gathered, like I said before, on the 11th of December in 2018 to say that we will not continue to validate the life of that constitution by elections under it, because unless we come to that point, those who are holding us hostage and who have money to distribute will also go to election even while we're complaining. They've gone to election in 2003 after we started complaining in 1999. They went to another election in 2007. They went to another election in 2011. In all of this, who we hold responsible, and that's what we want our people to know at this time, to tell them exactly what they have to do to get free from this union of debt. The people who are contesting elections from your backyard, whether they run as senators or they run as governors to be governors, or they want to become councillors under this constitution, they are the ones who are directly responsible for your torment, directly responsible for your debt. And we are saying to you, it is within your reach, if you listen to what we are asking you to do, from the time we activate this force majeure, it is within your reach to turn around to them and say, you cannot in our name continue to go to take benefit under this constitution. They're not bothered with what happened to you. They're only bothered with what they get if they win the election. Because whoever wins the election, even if it's your twin brother, he had to swear to defend and uphold that constitution. And in that swearing is to say your enslavement will continue and being reinforced, but he will get the benefits of being in that office. If he's governor, it runs in several billions every month. If he's senator, he gets at least 50 million every month, and then contracts that come from the executive branch. That's all they're after. Even the councillors, even the House of Assembly members, it is what they get that make them embrace that constitution that is killing their own people, that is killing you. And so we are breaking it all the way down to who is enabling this evil. So we're no longer talking about people from afar. We're talking about people from our own areas who go to validate, because if they agree with us for 5 minutes, that constitution will be out of the way. This union will be at an end. It is their presence in that Abuja. It is their presence as senators from our own portions that is now validating that constitution. We're not the people who originally imposed it, not the ones who are pointing guns at everybody. It is the presence of our own political actors, our own politicians that are doing political party with them under this constitution that is responsible for our misery as at this moment. It is within our reach to turn around to those people and say, you can no longer do this unless we sort out the matter of how we live together. That's that constitution. That's all they have to do. If our people do not listen to us now and do that little part, what they are bargaining for, what they are shopping for, will be the day the Fulani herdsmen and the other killers turn up at their doorstep. Is it not a lighter fight to stop those people who are doing political party under this constitution that is in your neighborhood? If we do it in Yoruba land, and we do it in the eastern part, and we do it in the middle belt, to say, look, 2023 is still 3 years away. We must now settle the matter of how we live together. We cannot continue to be slaves in our lands under this apartheid constitution. You are the ones who make it happen. We will not allow you. It is a better fight to undertake. I can tell our people, it is a much better fight to undertake, because you are sure to win it. It will not become matter because your people in your community will not overpower the entire community if they are the only ones doing party and trying to go to get benefits with that constitution. We have identified the enemy for you. We've told you what you need to do to stop that enemy. If you stop that enemy, leave the rest to us, because once it becomes clear that no election can happen in 2023 because you are rejecting the constitution under which the winner will govern, that's the issue. Not whether Mr. A is tall or Mr. B is short. Not whether one person is more corrupt than the other. No, it is not business of APC and PDP. They've all been in power. We have seen it all. We've seen people from our part being president. Jonathan was president the other day. Obasanjo was president the other day. Now Buhari is there. Has anything changed for anybody? So it is not a matter that can be resolved by people contesting elections. For every day this constitution is allowed to stay, the situation is going to worsen. For every day the constitution is in place, those who are overrunning you to take your lands will legitimately do so. They have a bill before the National Assembly, their so-called National Assembly, because there's no National Assembly anywhere. The Caliphate has hijacked everything. They have brought a bill for waterways, they say waterways bill. By that law, they are targeting the federal government, the Fulani that have become federal government, is targeting the body of waters throughout the country. Every stream, every river, any moving water will belong to the federal government, together with all the lands adjoining it to the left and right. I think 1 kilometer to the left and right of every body of water. So the stream in your village is going to become federal government property. 1 kilometer to the left and right of that stream will be federal government land. The ruga they've been trying to plant, that is how they want to enforce it. That's how they want to bring it to be. Because if it is federal government land, they are going to put whoever they want on that land. And that is throughout the country. Is there anybody listening to this program that doesn't have some body of water, some stream passing through their village or near their village? All of that land will go to federal government. And that federal government is Fulani government of today. The Ruga they've been looking for how to do, they're going to do it in thousands and thousands of places. Just bring their people and plant in that land that have been taken. What is standing between them and that law? Nothing. They have enough majority they've taken by brigandage in the National Assembly to pass the kind of laws they want. And between them and the president, he will just sign it. And that becomes law that must be obeyed. We have seen what has happened to Okama, the Company and Allied Matters Act, where they have put in place, by amendment of that law, some kind of regulation that enables them shut down the churches. They're in a position, the federal government, the Fulani have put itself in a position today to be able to remove the church, managers. They can appoint managers to remove the ownership structure of all kinds of things that the church people do. So Adeboye can be removed from Redeemed Church under this law. Oyedepo can be removed from Canaan land under this law. The government, that they did with the banks, we saw when they were taking over banks that were built up by other people. They just woke up one day to say, oh, you can no longer be here because you've been here for 10 years. That's the kind of thing that is likely to happen if we do not take steps immediately to take down this constitution. If we do not, everything they want to do, they will just go and make it by way of law because they've seized all the controls for making laws, and it will become the law. If your land is taken, it's taken. We have an opportunity to end this trauma right now. If we do not do it, we are bargaining for when the Fulani will turn up at our doorstep with their AK-47. I don't think that's an easier fight to undertake than just doing the little we ask our people to do now. Our people, if you can face the political parties and the people running political parties in your neighborhood, and it becomes clear that no election will happen because it is the constitution by which the winner will govern that we are rejecting. And we're not talking about the state elections that are already due. No, our eyes are on the 2023 election. The constitution by which the winner will govern is this one that we have repudiated. And it is not the business of the National Assembly to assume our sovereignty and begin to write another one. They are doing so in negation of our right to self-determination. In all of that, we have a process on the table that can enable us invoke our sovereignty and take down that constitution, go into a transition. We're not anarchists. we will go into a transition like South Africa did in 1990. We have arrived at that bus stop South Africa reached in 1990, when after 80 years of the operation of the apartheid constitution and after all the fight, the government of the day now realized they could not proceed with that apartheid constitution. Any other thing you were doing about the situation of the black who became slaves in South Africa, you were wasting your time until those two lawyers, Oliver Tambo and Nelson Mandela, came to explain to the blacks of South Africa. They thought it was a matter of throwing stones, the type our brothers are doing now. Let's go and make trouble. And then they shoot you, you die like chickens. There's nothing anybody's going to do because they put a law in place. They say it's a terrorism prevention act or any law they want to enforce against you. They will say you've breached the law. They criminalize you and they kill you. And so we say, instead of waiting for when we are killed in that number or when the people with AK-47 turn up at our doorsteps, we are in a position to take on a lighter fight of stopping our own people who are participating in one political party or the other, getting ready to go to election in 2023. We can stop them inside 2020 so that we can go into transition. That transition is to say, let us now and go and discuss what will happen. We'll go to a referendum before our people will have to recommit. As I speak with you, the Yoruba have, before their 6 state assemblies, bills for internal referendum of Yoruba land because they understand the fact that the constitution is dead. Yoruba is already operating outside that constitution. We saw Amotekun. They are no longer paying attention to that constitution. The lunatics who are discussing Igbo presidency, that Igbo presidency is a carrot thrown at you to buy time to be able to get to the next election. Let us say it loud and clear to all of those who are discussing that. It is a quid pro quo. It is a poison chalice. It is a Trojan horse. Those who want to go to take that, to grab whatever is being thrown at them in the name of all of us, you will have us to contend with. That constitution, they want to preserve that constitution. They want to preserve this union. It is now in Sokoto that they are holding meeting of how Igbo will become president. They want to preserve their union. They want to preserve our enslavement. If you are the one offering yourself to be used, you are going to find yourself on a head-on collision with the people who have been suffering from this enslavement. I think that's the angle from which those who are listening can begin to relate to what they need to do to get this thing to happen. Take down that constitution, end this union, and we go, to referendums to decide what we do with our sovereignty.
Wow. Thank you, Maz. You couldn't have explained it better